What is up, you fucks? We are back with another edition of the Doom Scroll Cast. I am your host, Lord Botha, and if you don't know anything about the show, this is a show where we go through certain topics that are in the news, whether they are pop culture topics. We usually do movies, video games, TV show, stuff like that. But we also do politics sometimes as well. This is the one part of my sort of content where I let my political side out. So we're probably going to talk about politics today because there is a lot of political stuff in the news. Well, not a ton really, but there is a significant amount right now. It's been really quiet actually on the political front for a couple of months now, or at least a month, other than influencer infighting, which I don't give a fuck about. But yeah, we're going to talk about that because we had a massive verdict today and a massive trial that has cultural political impacts. We also have Trump launching attacks against Iran again. Retaliatory, of course, but they're there. We're going to talk about that probably briefly. And then we're also going to talk about other pop culture topics as well. We're going to talk about, let's see here. So I'm pulling it up here. We're going to talk about the Summer Games Fest that just happened, right? We had the PlayStation Direct or PlayStation Showcase, and just before that, now we had the Summer Games Fest, so which is basically the Xbox Showcase. So we're just going to talk about that. Nintendo also had their Direct today. From what I heard, though, it isn't really a whole lot to talk about it. They teased or showed off a little bit of Ocarina of Time, which everybody knew was coming, and they said that they showed off Kingdom Hearts 4, which, okay, cool, yeah. For the people who are really into Kingdom Hearts, I'm sure they're excited. But other than that, I heard it was really shitty, so probably not going to focus on that. We're going to make fun of a streamer content creator and his wild take on Halo and the culture war and all that. We are also going to take a look at some of the box office and what's going on right now and all of that. But yeah, several different topics we're going to get into. But I think we're going to actually start on the gaming side. And we're going to start with Summer Games Fest. And if you don't know what also happens here, when we're done with all these topics, we're going to do what's called the Doom Scroll. I just literally open Twitter and we react live to everything we see. And so far, we have not had any wild get me in trouble shit yet in the Twitter feed. It's amazing. It's amazing, really, how when you don't interact with wild shit on Twitter, you're not going to get wild shit in your feed. It's weird how that happens. How my feed is basically just all video games, movies, and politics news. Like that's all it is, really. And we're going to take a look here. But first, let's start off with that Xbox Showcase. So if you didn't see the Xbox Showcase at Summer Games Fest, they showed off some games, right? Obviously, the big thing they showed off was Gears of War E-Day. And Gears of War E-Day is going to be a massive launch, and they announced that it's going to be an Xbox console exclusive. And they're particular about that language, saying it's a console exclusive, because that means that they're still going to put the game on PC. Because if you go look right now, it's still available for pre-order on Steam. But as far as consoles, Nintendo, and especially PlayStation, that's not going to happen. It's exclusive to Xbox only on console. Nowhere else. So they're doing it that way. And they're doing it with that and another game called Clockwork something or whatever. It looked very steampunkish. Honestly, it looked like something that I would be into. So I might check it out. But I haven't had a chance to. And they're doing that. Plus, they also announced the 25th anniversary edition Xbox Series X. That's 25 years of Xbox as a company in general. And they're launching a specific anniversary edition of the Series X, which is like this cool, like, I don't know, clear plastic, green. Like, I'll show it to you here. Let's see here. 25th anniversary console images. Skadoosh. Okay. See if I can bring it up in full here. So this is what it looks like right here. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah. 25th anniversary edition. It looks pretty cool. Everybody has actually been remarking about how it looks really cool. And they did a really good advert. And actually, I think it's this one right here. Let's see if it plays here. Yeah. So they have the retro like setup here with the original Xbox and everything. And yeah. They even do the music. Let's make sure I have the... But yeah, they're kind of tearing it up and everything. I don't know if that's way too loud. Turn it down a little bit. But yeah, the controller looks really cool. Like, I would want that, right? Honestly, if the Xbox Series X launched like this, like, I feel like they would have sold more. Because that's actually freaking cool, right? I don't think... And here's the thing. The exclusives, right? Because this is part of their whole strategy. They're like, we're going back to exclusives. We're going to have exclusives now, right? And I think what they're really not understanding here is that exclusives don't sell consoles, right? PlayStation has somehow tricked people into thinking that exclusives sell consoles. They don't. Software does not sell consoles, okay? Hardware sells consoles. The reason why PlayStation sells more than Xbox is better specs on it. Plain and simple. Xbox puts enough games, and there are enough multi-platform games on PlayStation for people to rather buy PlayStation because it has better hardware. Or brand connectivity. Because basically... when you're a kid, your parents either buy you one of the consoles, typically. That's what happened to me, right? And then you sort of just stick with that console your whole life. At least most normie gamers do. Because it's really all you've ever known, right? I mean, there was at one time, I owned both a Xbox and a PlayStation, but I don't have the money to do that all the time. And now I have a PC. So I can play most everything on a PC. So yeah, a lot of times it's just, we're already connected to a brand. So why would we go to something else that we don't know? Or something that doesn't provide us what we're interested in? Or something that doesn't have as good as specs, or might have as good as specs, but it's something that I've never known, never interacted with, right? And I'm in my own ecosystem. So the software and all that doesn't really sell consoles. And hardware is the main selling point of consoles. This is the one thing that can breach that sort of gap. And also marketing is a big part of this, right? Making one system seem more cool than the other. The games, the actual exclusive games, are an add-on to all that. But they are simply not the main focus. I make myself bigger. There. Let's put me over here. Okay. They're simply not the main focus, okay? And we are seeing one of the biggest thing about the Xbox showcase is it wasn't really about the games. I mean, it was, but it wasn't, right? It was good that we saw another trailer of Halo. By the way, or not Halo, Fable. By the way, we got to stop this revisionist history. we gotta stop this like mind virus, okay? There's this mind virus, especially amongst certain corners of the internet, that seems to think that Haley Atwell, because Haley Atwell was introduced as playing the voice of, and looks like she was the character model of, the new villain or one of the villains in the new Fable game, right? There has been this long-standing like observation or belief that Haley Atwell is some gorgeous woman, that she's like a Hollywood 9 or something. Dudes fawn over her. Now listen, I preface all this by saying I am a complete schlub, okay? I am not traditionally handsome. I am not well kept. I'm fat. I've lost all sense of fitness that I once had. I say that I say this as somebody who owns a mirror, okay? But still has an opinion. And my opinion is that this woman is not a Hollywood 9. She is like a Hollywood 5. But she's cool and she has massive titties. So, dudes have, for some reason, elevated her to a point above her status of hotness. Because she's always had kind of a boxy, angular face. Then, like, just big, blank, brown eyes. Like, they're not... She's not a massively attractive woman. I'm sorry. But there was a lot of people angry on the internet that her character, quote unquote, didn't look like her. Even though it did look like her, it's just that's what she looks like. And also it's a fableized character. I know they've become more photorealistic within this game, but it's still, not 100%. And also, like, it's not to the point of like someone like Deborah Ann Wool in the PlayStation showcase before this, right? Because they made Deborah Ann Wool's character, Laufey, right, look way more haggard than she does at like 41 or whatever. They made her look terrible. And it was very obvious because that's very photorealistic, that game. So yeah, not quite the same. And it was kind of just weird to see. But other than that, and other than the E-Day and a few of the other not really indie, but smaller games that they showed off, the biggest thing that came out of the Xbox showcase was more of learning the strategy of what Xbox is going forward. Which brings us to this here. It's from Fortune, right? And they post this. This is their interview with Asha Sharma, CEO of Xbox and all that. And she says, quote, "I think we've reached a point where it's hard to imagine that mass audiences can afford thousands of dollars to spend on a console generation. I think we start to see radically different business models that we never expected to start to come into orbit later this year." So what we're basically admitting there, what she's admitting, is that this whole idea that consoles are going to continue, right, on their current trajectory, with as expensive as hardware components are becoming, they're just going to keep continuing to be churned out, is kind of a fallacy. Because it's going to get to the point where you're going to need loans. You're going to need a considerable amount of money. We're talking $1,000 to $2,000 to buy consoles. And at that point, you might as well buy a PC. Because PCs are going to go up, for sure. But they're not going to go up as much as that. Mostly because they have more utilitarian parts that are available. And secondhand parts that are available. There's a wider market amongst the components that you personally can get a hand on in the market. Where with the consoles, you're relying solely on the producers of the consoles and what they pay for batch bulks of specified parts. So, yeah, there isn't really a future for consoles, I think. Like, there will be consoles, at least they will call them consoles, But what they really will be is branded gaming PCs. I'm fairly certain that the PlayStation 6 might be the last pure console that we see. And I, quite honestly, if you want to be very hardline about it, we haven't seen a pure console, right? Since, I don't know, the PS3, Xbox 360, because then always online came into play. So then, therefore, you're basically a PC at that point, running all through the internet, all through always online. And all systems are like that now, with their own UIs, with their own operating systems. So yeah, I don't think that there is a future. You can barely call the consoles now consoles, and I think going forward, they're not going to have any real part that is a console. It's going to be branded gaming PCs, and that's going to be it. And they're going to justify asking for thousands of dollars based upon that fact that it's more than just a console, it's a PC. But yeah, she goes on to say, I think we will start to see radically different business models that we need, that we never expected to start to come into orbit. Yeah. This is leaning into what's, a lot of people have started calling the platform wars, right? Where PlayStation and Xbox are going to transform more into, they're going to have their hardware, yes, but they're going to be more platform service models, right? We think of things like Netflix. We think of things like Hulu and other streaming services. You're going to get that mostly now from Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, all of that, as places to digitally buy your games. And at this point, they pretty much are Netflix because you're really just renting your games. Because on these sites, you don't really actually buy anything because that assumes that you have ownership of it. You don't. You don't actually have ownership of it. You're buying a license to play the game, right? So you don't actually own it. They can literally revoke it at any time. This has been the subject of many a problem. One of the big things in the Subnautica 2 end user license agreement, right, was the idea that you don't own your games. They actually own it. You're just buying a license. I mean, Ubisoft has an entire lawsuit right now about it. That you don't actually own your game. It's just rented, essentially. But they're going to continue. But people are addicted to that model. And they're going to continue buying through that model because of convenience, right? You don't have to worry about physical discs. You don't have to go buy a physical disc. Physical discs are more costly to produce via the company and all that. So they're leaning away from physical altogether. Physical media in general is dying out, whether it's video games, movies, whatever. And I think we're going to see a future where it's going to be very much so more of a competition between each platform, PlayStation and Xbox and all that, about who can provide you the most bang for your buck in terms of libraries of content. And I think whoever has the more appealing library is going to win that. It's very interesting because in one hand, Xbox is trying to lean into what is perceived people want to them with the exclusives and all that. And Asha has pretty much made that apparent. But on the other hand, they're still going forward with what their basic plan is, just better marketing, better managed, and with new logos. And now Xbox is Xbox all capitals again. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of exciting which way Xbox is going to go. And honestly, their showcase was probably the best showcase, especially the way it was presented, because it was literally just like premiere after premiere after premiere, game after game after game. And you didn't get a whole lot of long expos on small niche community games that people don't need an hour on and that you end up getting an hour on. You didn't really have that. It's very in one after the other, streamlined, and I think people really appreciated that. It's weird. It's really weird, man. They did a really good job about this. Let's go into next one here. We're gonna make fun of a streamer. Specifically, we're gonna make fun of Smash JT. But before that, I need to go get some water because I'm already out of water. I'm already dry mouthed as fuck. So I'm gonna put you on the BRB screen, and I'll be right back after I get some water. Okay, so time to make fun of a content creator. Okay, let's see here. So here we got old Smash JT, right? This is one of the most retarded takes I've seen in a while. Surprise, surprise, it comes from Smash. He says here, this is an unnecessary and intentionally signaling trans. Ooh. They know what they're doing. Once you notice bisexual lighting being used, you can't unsee it. This is intentional. I will not be gaslit.
What the hell is even that?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Dishonor. Dishonor on your whole family. Make a note of this. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
I don't know what to do with that. What bisexual lighting? Who? This man is talking about this right here. This man is talking about a purple dash swath of purple in the clouds. In the clouds. So he got community noted. The circled purple area is the planet Threshold, the largest planet in the system Alpha Halo resides in. The new cover art for Halo Campaign Evolved is a direct remake of the original for Halo Campaign Evolved. Or Combat Evolved. Fuck that up. Also featuring Threshold. It's funny that the community note, and he would spurg out about this, Doesn't actually have anything to do with anything. But it is funny that he got community noted. And it's the thing is that, like, I don't know, like, I'm starting to see more and more of this, right? I'm starting to see, like, I also saw this with the Masters of the Universe movie that just came out, where people are seeing, like, I heard this on a stream earlier, actually, and it's actually very, very correct. We've reached microaggressions when it comes to the anti-woke movement. We've reached the microaggressions point where shit like this and pretty much everything that fucking Yorch Torch tweets about and things like the Masters of the Universe movie is woke because it has a few scenes towards the beginning of the movie where they literally make fun of HR culture and corporate culture. And that leads it to be woke. And the fact that the main character has empathy and is a good person and, like, that all leads it to be woke. We need to calm down, okay? We need to calm down and bring it back. We need to calm down and bring it back. Listen, there are legitimate gripes out there. There are legitimate attempts, and even to this day, to try to push forward or insert political, cultural agendas, typically left-leaning, into video games, into movies, into television shows. I mean, fuck. Doctor Who is basically, that's all that is anymore. Doctor Who's lost the plot so bad that they literally can't get anybody to star as the Doctor for the Christmas special. They're literally thinking about canceling the Doctor Who Christmas special right now because they can't find an actor to come play Doctor Who. It's definitely still there. But this kind of shit undoes everything. This kind of shit makes you sound retarded. You can't do this, okay? You can't be coming out talking about bisexual lighting. You sound like a fucking retard. You sound like a crazy person. Probably why when he says in his bio here, and everybody was pointing it out, internet entertainer and retard. Makes sense, right? By the way, listen, I'll talk about Gooner content. I'll show Gooner content off. I'll laugh about it, enjoy it, all of it. Talk about it with people, whatever. But there's something about a married man just putting fake meme Natalie Portman tits on as his cover photo that just seems weird to be a guy who does this but also posts pictures of his family onto Twitter, which, by the way, it's perfectly fine to post pictures of your family on social media. That's cool, whatever. Choosing Twitter as the form of social media to post pictures of your family is a bit odd. That's a weird one to choose. But, you know, to each his own. He wants to put it out there. The thing is, you want to put it out there, you can't get mad when people make fun of it or go in on you or any of this. Like, and to Smash's credit, Smash is not a guy who blocks haters. He's not a guy who blocks people that come after him. He's not a guy who blocks people he has arguments with. He's not that kind of guy. That's fair. And good on him for that. Trust me, there are a lot of guys out there that have glass egos, okay? Melanie Mac, Razor Fist, pretty much all the conservative influencer sphere. Trust me. But he's not like that. And the thing is that, like, I'll criticize Smash But then he'll come out and he'll make a good joke on somebody else's post, roasting them, or he'll have a good reply, or he'll actually post something that's a good take, and I'll like it. And occasionally, he'll see mine and do the same thing to me, randomly. I don't know why. He doesn't follow me. I know that. But it's interesting. Because I've definitely had back and forth with this guy. He doesn't know who the fuck I am, trust me. But he's not a guy that takes things 100% personally, is what I'm trying to say. And is all up in his feelings. He is, however, super primo retarded. I mean, we're talking about a guy who got done in by McDizzle Gaming and exposed for being a guy who does zero research and just takes whatever story is handed to him and flies off to make the first content he can possibly make just because he wants to be first published, rather than doing the due diligence to check his sources. Because if he had done a 5-minute Google search, less than that even, to find out if his source was real or not, or the email from his source was real, he would have known there was a bunch of bullshit and it was actually McDizzle who was sending him information. So, yeah, and Smash would go on to double and triple down on this. So let's give this a listen. Put on our highest quality $30 pair of headphones we could buy at Walmart, and let's give this a listen. Okay.
I'm not going to allow myself to be gaslit anymore by these people that tell me that it's just my imagination, because it's a very clear agenda that's being pushed. Bisexual lighting is being pushed to the forefront.
Try to relax your anus.
Bisexual lighting, huh? It's weird because Smash strikes me as the kind of dude who leans into the finger in such cases. He seems like an upside down pineapple kind of dude, you know?
Why are you gay?
But I might be wrong.
Trying its darndest to take an entire generation of people and indoctrinate the next generation to make this feel like a normal thing, so that when they see the flags out in society, they feel comfortable around them, they're more accepting of it, and hopefully, the way that these fucktards think, they can indoctrinate them easier into the cult.
So let's break this opinion down here. My man is trying to say that because video games are putting a color scheme in to the video game, that they are, and those color schemes happen to also be, some of them, on a flag that represents a group of people, or they say that represents them. That it is a way of getting these people used to seeing those color patterns, so that when they see the color patterns, like just in the wild, like they'll be more used to it, and then that will make dudes start fucking dudes in dresses.
Try to relax your anus.
This I don't know.
Hiya!
We're dead! We're dead! We survived, but we're dead! Stop it!
I just don't know what to do with this kind of argument, right? What we need to do is we need to do. By the way, fucking McDizzle's tweet, 107,000 views, 132 bookmarks, 132 bookmarks. Like, Extra Zero is diabolical. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. By his logic, this is transcoded now. Yeah, Vice City uses the same color palette, right? Gay Tony. Serious? Yeah. Yep. It's true though. Yeah. Obviously. It's because it's so the reason why they use this color palette is that yellow and like sort of these bright oranges and colors and all sunset colors basically, right? Against purple background is a cool pattern that's also like easy on the eyes. It's a cooler tone pattern that's easy on the eyes and also seems more mystical. It has nothing to do really with bisexuality. In fact, there's a reason why certain color schemes are used, right? The reason why I use red, white, and black on the thumbnails of my video is because red, white, and black were proven by psychologists in the 1930s to be the most hypnotic colors to the eye. The ones that draw people in the most. The one people that stand out to people the most. In a dead background. Like, now, those psychologists might have been German in origin.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
And they might have been associated with certain political parties. But we're not going to get bogged down in that. All right? We're not going to get bogged down in what party did what to who and what colors they had and if they were very noticeable and all that. Yeah. But, yeah. All the homies went gay in 2000. Yeah, my man is getting absolutely roasted in the comments. So, like, there's that. And let's go to his quote tweets now. He was mad at Halo for this, right? The Cortana picture as well. And to be fair, Cortana doesn't look great there. But it's like, why is he adding Halo? Like, they're not going to give a fuck, man. Like, why are we doing, like, and then there's one point where, let's see let's go to the post. And let's see, view quote tweets. All right. From, I love how insane everyone, that the onion person is fucktard. Because Smash actually had he quote tweeted this himself, right? Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Why is my factual statement being community noted? The original artwork did not have this. The new one does. These community notes are incorrect as they do not address the statement being made. And by the way, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Gotcha, bitch.
So yeah. Here's his reply to that. This isn't original retail Xbox cover. What you've uploaded appears to be an early pre-release prototype or concept packaging mock-up for a Halo development period. Okay, but it's still there, right? I mean, like what? What does it matter? Like what? Why does it matter? There's none. This is not going to make people bisexual. It's not going to make people gay, dude. And people are trying to be like, oh, this is this is a troll. He's tripled and he's doubled and tripled down every single fucking time. And like, look at some of these quote tweets. The Act Man. I've been a Halo fan for 24 years, and this is by far the single dumbest opinion that has ever been expressed about the Halo franchise in the history of the internet. If I did something to myself in the head region with a needler, I still wouldn't have lost as many brain cells as I did reading this. Yeah. Mutahar. He's got fucking Mutahar involved. Man, the anti-woke crowd is just straight up retarded. Yeah, this is the thing. He's making people who complain about legitimate problems within the storylines of video games look like fucking retards, look like assholes. Because he's doing this shit. Bruh, I can't anymore. These people live in an alternate reality. This is legitimate mental illness. That was Jake Lucky. The Covenant put estrogen in the needler to make Master Chief trans. The normal. Blah, blah, blah. This is genuine psychosis. That's from the Serps. Let's see here. RGT85. The clouds are turning the frogs gay. Yep. The thing is that like he's just getting absolutely pounded by everyone about this. Like it's so dumb, man. It's such a dumb hill to die on. And it's happening again, man. Like it's like, aren't you embarrassed, dude? Aren't you embarrassed to be doing this, man? Like, I prefer console warriors. I prefer console warriors over this shit because, like, you can... It's just not worth it, man, to go to this extent for the culture war. The man is trashing everybody in the anti-woke sphere's credibility, not just his own, because Halo has a swath of purple clouds in the atmosphere on their Campaign Evolve cover. It's so fucking stupid. And there, I've heard some people trying to say that, like, Galo reach LGBTQ. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've heard some people, because especially Halo, because it's Pride Month, right? Put out their little advert with their gay skins coming back, where you can put on gay skins, rainbow colored flag and all that in the game. And of course, when they do that, same time when they also do the Black History Month dashiki skins, they turn off the comments and replies when they post that shit. And people always reply, and they always make a big hoop, or they always quote tweet and make a big hoopla of it. And at this point, they've done it for so many years that I'm convinced the only reason they do it is to get engagement. The only reason they do it is because they know you're going to piss people off, and they're going to retweet that shit. They're going to quote tweet that shit, and then people are going to see it, and then they're reminded, oh yeah, Halo still exists. That still exists as a franchise. I could go play Halo as a way to try to get advertisement. Hold on. So yeah, they see that, and they don't understand that that is what they're trying to do. It's just to get engagement. It's so dumb that anyone would choose to do this shit, to actively engage or even believe it. If he actually believes this shit, if he actually believes that a swath of purple colored clouds in the background of a remaster or remake of the original Halo game is an attempt is to have a psyop to get people to be more okay with the idea of being bisexual or gay or trans or whatever, then literally go touch grass. Go do something else. Get off the internet, bro. You're too deep. Okay? You are Ben Stiller when he is indoctrinated into enjoying playing Simple Jack in Tropic Thunder level of deep, where they can't get him to snap out of it. You're that deep. You log off, bro. All right. Let's see here. Next thing. Vera Dark posted this. Because if you don't remember, Destiny 2 is pretty much ending new content. And the entire team is probably going to get laid off, except for probably higher up people. They're going to get shifted over to Marathon because they need Marathon to work, even though Destiny 2 actually makes money for them, even though a lot of people think Destiny is dog shit. But this was the peak, and this was June 9th she posted this. This was the peak, the 24-hour peak of the new Destiny 2 with the launch of their new DLC. Their last season update, DLC, whatever, ever. Before the new content is shut down and the servers are just there, right? 160,000 players. Meanwhile, 24-hour peak, 25,000, 15 right now of Marathon. Game that probably cost about $200 million to make. Had absolutely terrible press and is going to probably sink Bungie. So yeah. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Real quick. So there's a clip here. It's Superman. It's a clip from Supergirl where, and you can see from the captions there, she's speaking in Kryptonian, right? When she lands and Clark pulls her out. If she can speak Kryptonian, and eventually she learns English, obviously, why didn't Clark ever get her to just translate the message from their parents or from his parents?
Expose, 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 expose.
It doesn't make any sense.
You're exposed. You are exposed.
Hopefully this is explained, because this is a pretty major plot hole. This is a pretty major, like, what the fuck, why? So yeah. Let's talk about what's going on here. I don't know why. Because Gunn creates his universe in pieces and never thinks ahead. Yeah, I mean, he comes from the Marvel brand, right? And Marvel, their whole thing, right, is they never have scripts done. They never have scripts done before they've written them, before they start doing the movie. They're literally writing the scripts and the story as they're going. So, and one of the things I was talking about a little bit in the video that I just put out for my Masters of the Universe review was the James Gunnification of the MCU, and how I've always been a big proponent or believer in the idea that Guardians of the Galaxy is both the best and worst thing to ever happen to the MCU. Because on one hand, it did give us Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, which I, in my personal opinion, think is one of the best Marvel films that has been produced. It's definitely, in terms of fun and enjoyment and just one that I can watch again and again, probably my favorite. On the other hand, it also destroyed the MCU because it made them believe that they had to make every Marvel movie like that for people to want to approach it. Including someone like Thor. And Thor is not supposed to be that at all. Thor was supposed to be the serious, the heavy one, right? The like political and like the political, not almost Game of Thrones-ish like level of entertainment, right? We're supposed to be the intricacies of royal families and just the heavy Shakespearean storylines. But it ended up being Taika Waititi. We all know how Taika Waititi is. It's funny, really, because it's like you have Joss Whedon, and then you have James Gunn, which is basically knockoff Joss Whedon, but not as good. And then you have Taika Waititi, which is just knockoff James Gunn, but not as good. And they're all basically like more amped up versions of each other, right? As they've gone along, to where it's like too much. And to the point where fucking Taika Waititi has burned all of his goodwill in Hollywood already. Like people don't want to fucking work with him for some reason. It's really astonishing. But we did have a lot of political news too to get to. And we're in a hard transition to that. So we got it's, by the way, it's probably going to be a fairly short show tonight. I got some stuff that I got to work on. I have some manual labor that I actually have to do. I have to put a bookcase together that I promised my wife I would do. So let's go with the political news here. So, from Eric Doherty, at President Trump's discretion, Iran just got struck by the U.S. military. They downed an Apache helicopter and failed to kill 2 U.S. pilots, so 47 struck back. 20 targets have been hit per senior U.S. officials. CENTCOM, the mission is a proportional response to unjustified Iranian aggression. U.S. officials apparently are not sure if Iran intended to down the Apache, but it doesn't really matter. Thankfully, I like their stand. It doesn't really matter. Thankfully, those 2 pilots are rescued and safe. God bless our heroes, blah, blah, blah. So, my big question is, what the fuck does this do for the peace agreement?
Exposed.
It's not the one I want. This is the one I want. Because the peace agreement, right? We were supposed to be nearing a peace agreement, but now they may or may not have accidentally shot down one of our Apaches, apparently. And Trump has responded to this by bombing fucking 20 locations, which they say is proportional response. Seems a bit much. Which is, in any other occasion justified. But when we're so close to a peace deal, maybe a little reined in a little bit. The definition of ceasefire has changed. Yeah, apparently. Apparently the definition of ceasefire has changed. I always thought that when there was a ceasefire, countries might try to adhere to it. Of course, when you have Israel, and I'm not the kind of guy who has Israel derangement syndrome. When you have Israel fucking egging them on all the time. And some of the best memes that have been going around have been those memes of Joe Pesci in I can't remember what gangster film. Him and De Niro. But he basically, De Niro plays a Jewish guy in the movie, and Pesci just calls him a load of like Jewish epitaphs and like lays into him. Is basically like, you wouldn't be fucking here without me. You'd be nothing, blah, blah, blah. It was really good. And people were like, this is Trump on call with Netanyahu. Or we're about days away from Trump Casino. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Sorry. It's hard to... Sometimes it's hard to distinguish which De Niro, Joe Pesci gangster film it is, okay? There's been a few, all right? But, yeah, when somebody was like, we're just days away from... They took that clip and they were like, we're just days away from Trump posting this on Truth Social with no comment. But yeah. I this is unfortunate because I really want there to be a peace treaty and a ceasefire, just because like we need gas to go down. I'm sorry. Fake geek nerd. What, because I don't know fucking casino? Huh? You fucking kidding me? You should go over there and take a bat to your fucking head. What are we doing here? Anyway, that was my shitty New York like gangster impression. Oh God. Oh. My mouth is like extra dry today. It's like I gave a blowjob to like 20 Q-tips. Anyway, we're not going to get bogged down by all that. Yeah, I really want a peace deal because these gas prices, bro. Listen. We have two cars. Mine is electric. And my wife just got a new car. It's a hybrid. Part of the reason why we got a hybrid is the current gas prices. And my wife drives a lot. Every day my wife drives to her work. She has to drive like about an hour and a half to work. And then an hour and a half back. She's putting on nearly 200 miles like a week on her car. Almost. It's kind of ridiculous. And the gas for that would just be outrageous. Electric, you really are fake? Motherfucker, I will post feet pics. Do not make me do it. Will they be mine? Maybe. Don't make me do it. I'm a man on edge. Just invent teleportation? Bro, I wish. Do you know how many problems I would solve? Do Do you know how easy my life would get if I could just instantly teleport somewhere? First off, I wouldn't work in my current fucking job. That's for damn sure. I would work somewhere, do it no balls. Why are you gaslighting me right now, Jack of all casuals? This is the thing about being a tiny streamer, by the way. Being a nobody. Is that I'm being one guide in chat right now, literally because there's only one guy. I don't know what that symbol is, but you say eh. 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 Bro, but on the real, my life would be a lot easier. But anyway, we're not going to get bogged down by all that. These gas prices are outrageous. And if I wouldn't stand for them. I know I live in Missouri. Our gas prices right now, typically our gas prices were always around somewhere about $2.20 to about almost $3. And that's on the very high end. Usually like $2.20 to like $2.60. $2.60, $2.70. But now we're well over $3. We've hit the $4 mark at one point. It's unsustainable. It's simply unsustainable. If this part of the country's hurting, if fucking Texas is expensive for Texas, it's gotta be crazy other places. Can you imagine? I don't know what the gas is in Hawaii, but can you fucking imagine how expensive the gas is right there? Right now, right there? It's gotta be insane. It's gotta be over $10 a gallon. Some shit like that. Because they import all of that shit. It's insane, man. Listen, gas prices are one of the main barometers of the economic success of the country. If the gas is high, people are not going to vote for the party that's in power. It's just as simple as that. It's the economy, stupid. It's always been the economy. People will put up with loads of bullshit, just loads of bullshit, as long as they are okay money-wise and they are able to access entertainment that they want. Bread and circuses. This is tale as old as time. Think about it. Think about your fucking job out there, right? You work for a wage. You might hate your job, but you're making money. And occasionally, you're making an accident safety record, right? Accident-free safety record. Get to like, I don't know, 50 days accident-free. You get a fucking pizza party. And you'll put up. So you'll put up with a lot of bullshit for a pizza party and a steady wage. And they know you will. But if those economics start to be greatly affected, your day-to-day economics start to be greatly affected by the policies enacted by the party in power, people are just not going to vote for that party. I'm sorry. Now, there are going to be people who see the forest through the trees, right? Like me. I'm still going to vote Republican, still going to vote conservative because I understand the direction. Even if it was affecting me more than it already is. Because I have hybrid and electric. I would still vote for conservative and Republican. Because I believe in that philosophy. I believe in that direction of the country. And who else am I going to vote for? The Democrats? For the liberal? Fuck no. They're insane. And at some points, it feels like That's what conservatives are just banking on. That people remember how fucking crazy Democrats and liberals are. It feels like that's what they're banking on. And you can't do that because look at LA, right? And I know people want to say, oh, well, voting fraud in LA. Yes, that's true. Okay? Probably a lot of bullshit going on there. Enough bullshit, at least. But also, there is a large swath of people who will not vote for somebody simply because they have an R next to their name in that area. Same way as it is here, like me. Won't vote for somebody because they have a D next to their name. Because I know what kind of policies they probably stand for. Especially with the Democrats. Because they move pretty much in lockstep right now. Out of fear of each other, yes. But still. When you have to choose between gas, car, versus food, shit is fucked up. Yeah, and that's happening all over, man. Bills are getting super strained by people. Listen, I'm incredibly lucky. I'm one of the most lucky motherfuckers at my age ever. I turn 32 next week, and I own a house. Like outright. No mortgage. Shout out to my grandma who died and left me a house. Which is about the only way someone my age can afford a house free and clear at this point. Lord Botha is secretly a libertarian. Kind of. Not really. I believe in some tenets of, hey, leave people the fuck alone, which could be considered libertarian. But I'm more of a, if I had to break it down, I'm more of a traditionalist conservative. But I'm also not what I would call an asshole. I don't believe that it is a... Let me put it to you this way, in an anecdotal way. I don't believe that having premarital sex is a good thing. And that you should promote it. And it should be just openly promiscuous. I do, however, believe it's really fun.
Try to relax your anus.
So yeah. I believe that, like, people are going to have it and people are going to do it, and there's nothing you can do to stop them, man. Same thing with, like, gay marriage, right? Listen, I understand the religious qualms and, like, the whole slippery slope fallacy where it's like, well, if we allow gay marriage, then people are going to want to push that to a different, like, boundary. And they're going to want to be marrying their turtle. Real case that happened in Florida. But I don't think that really is the fault of gay marriage. And listen, like, so my wife has an uncle who's gay. Literally has been with the guy that is his husband since they were like 13, 14 years old. Only ever not dated him briefly in college. When he did that, he literally dated a woman. Only other person he's ever been with. Literally, it's not even like, he doesn't even really kind of say that he's gay. He's just gay for that guy. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. It's not going, like, eliminating gay marriage isn't going to stop him liking that guy. Eliminating gay marriage is not going to stop gay dudes from being gay. It just stops them from, like, being able to see each other in the hospital. It stops them from like having certain tax privileges, which I think everybody should have tax privileges because fuck taxes across the board. Whether you're gay, straight, black, white, don't matter. Fuck taxes. Taxes are bullshit. You should have a limited amount of taxes that go to very specific things. Because taxes are just, they're union dues to the union we all have to be a part of. They are kick-ups in the gang that we all have to pay and are forced to pay. Or the gang locks us away in the basement. So, yeah. Not without that attitude, you won't change things. Hey, man. I've seen some weird things out there, okay, man? I've seen we live in a timeline where Milo Yiannopoulos was gay, then became straight, and now he's gay again. What are we going to do with that?
It's time to go.
What are we going to do with that? Though, to be fair, I saw his girlfriend while he was straight. Very sus. Very, 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 very sus on the whole woman part. We've strayed very far from the topic that's on the screen right now, which is Iran being struck. But, yeah, in general, I kind of want this to stop. Just stop. I don't get why. I think this was another case of Trump was convinced by people close to him that he trusted that he thought at least this time they were not going to sell him wrong, that sold him wrong on something. Because I think at this time he was like, okay, this term I got the people around me that I can trust. They're going to advise me well. They're not going to give me bad advice and totally fuck up. And then this happened. So yeah, I just don't think that getting involved in Iran was ever a smart idea. I get the philosophy behind it and the way they probably sold it to him, which is that if you fuck with Iran, you get to fuck with China because China is the go-between or Iran is the go-between between China and Russia. And like it's the weak point that she can attack, but I don't know. It's not worth it to end up in this kind of situation. Conflicts in the Middle East never end quickly. Go back to the fucking Crusades, to the Romans. Conflicts in the Middle East never end quickly. Success from Venezuela made Trump very cocky. Yes, it did. Because I think the fact that they were able to overthrow Venezuela so fast, they thought, oh yeah, we really are those guys. And when this army is run competently, we can do a whole lot. The problem is that Iran is a completely different monster than Venezuela. Venezuela is a cash crop dictatorship that they were able to topple in a day. Also, so here's the thing. They could overthrow the Iranian government and install a new government that they want, that's more popular, that favors the United States, all of that. The only problem is that would take, actually doing that and accomplishing that, would take actual troops being sent in and boots on the ground. And if you do that, holy fuck, you want to talk about PR nightmares? All of the whole no new wars shit goes directly out the window, even though it kind of already has. All of the promises that were made about never putting boots on the ground, that's fucked. We're not going to get involved in the Middle East anymore, that's fucked. All the times he's criticized George Bush about having military intervention in Iraq and Afghanistan. That's completely fucked. All the like relationship between China and Russia and the United States and all that, and whether or not the United States is going to absolutely meddle in those affairs, that's completely fucked and a diplomatic nightmare. So like, we could in theory actually do this, but he's stuck in the Johnson problem, the Lyndon B. Johnson problem, where in Vietnam, the United States did not have the power due to Congress to go far enough with the military they had at hand to actually get what needed to be done. If there's an actual war, or if there was an actual Congress that was behind the idea of giving the max amount of war powers possible to Donald Trump, and he was able to actually send troops on the ground and get the certain things that need to be done on the ground, we could have complete and total regime change. By the way, I also think that regime change would be fairly stable, actually. It would not be like Iran or Iraq and Afghanistan. It'd be stable. Because there is a large swath of people that don't want to live under the current Iranian regime. They just don't. The unfortunate part about that is it's never going to happen, just because it links into way too many harms, as I just said. So yeah, there was that. So let's get to the other big news story here. Let's see here. Oh, fuck, what was his name? Okay. So, if you didn't know, there was a criminal case going on between about two teenagers, essentially. One of them stabbed the other. Want to take a guess which of these teens stabbed who? I bet you can guess. But as Fox News says here, breaking, Karmelo Anthony has been sentenced to 35 years in prison. Anthony was found guilty of murder on Tuesday for doing the act to Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet. He will be eligible for parole after halftime is served. Apparently, this was an altercation. They were in an argument. They were shoving, all that, fighting. The kind of fight that happens all the time in high schools. And then you have the fight, and then literally you make up, or you just go to school the next day, and that's it. It's over. There was absolutely no reason to pull a knife and start stabbing a motherfucker in this situation. Now, and this was not a situation where this guy, Karmelo Anthony, was jumped by a bunch of dudes and he had to fight for his life, getting his ass beat. It was him one-on-one against this guy that he had an altercation with. And he decided to take him out. And apparently this was a very, very quick court case, like a couple weeks, astonishingly. And they reached a verdict actually really quickly, which was that he was guilty. Guilty of murder even. And the guilty was, it was interesting because like they were trying to say that because of his age and when he did it, he was tried as an adult, even though he, this happened within the bounds of a high school. These are high school students, so we typically think minors. But he wasn't tried as an adult. And there was some stipulation on, even after the guilty sentence, whether or not he did his crime within the act of passion, right? That this sort of attack was emotion-based and really he had his mind clouded by emotion and that's why he acted out. the jury rejected this because if that was the case and they ruled that, Carmelo Anthony would have received I think, max of 20 years, a minimum of like 2 years. So he probably would have split the difference and probably got like, I don't know, 10 years, somewhere between 8 and 12 years. That didn't happen. And he ended up getting 35 years in prison for killing this kid, killing this boy. It's very sad. And the thing about Texas law is that apparently in Texas law, it is mandated that you serve at least half of your sentence, before you were considered for parole. I can't remember if that was for life sentences only or just in general, but I know in this circumstances it is true, and he's going to have to serve at least half of his life sentence. So we're talking about 16, 17 years. About 17 years this kid is going to be in prison. I say kid. He's like 17, 18 years old. So we're looking at about 17 years before he's even considered for parole. This dude threw his life away for some fight with some kid that he ended up killing. And some of the responses to this have been absolutely mind-boggling. There was a woman that was like, that Savannah Hernandez asked them. Let me see if I can actually find the video. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, this is it. So we're going to listen to this here. I think this is it. All right, we're going to listen to this here.
Has come out that Karmelo was not in fact fighting for his life when he stabbed and killed Austin Metcalf. Do you think that the black community will accept that?
If evidence shows that he did not, no, we're going to stand by ours regardless. They stand by theirs. We're going to stand by ours regardless. I'm a mother first.
Let's pause.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Let's pause and take a minute there. So Savannah Hernandez asked this woman if actual evidence came out and showed that this kid, Karmelo Anthony, did not actually have evidence that his life was in danger or that he was acting in self-defense and still killed this kid. Would they still stand by him? And this woman said, yes, they would. Because we stand by our own because they stand by theirs. They being white people. What? This is a person who they are already in a race war. Mentally, they're already in a race war. They see it as an us versus them. And that's simply not true, of course. Because the truth is that it shouldn't matter what the color of your skin is, what your origin is, your background, whatever. The justice is justice. When you commit a crime, you get punished for the crime if it's proven that you are guilty. Here it's been proven that he's guilty. That's what they decided. And there's also been a big thing, and I think that she might bring this up in a minute, a big thing about like there are no black jurors on this court. Listen, both they draw a jury pool randomly, right? And both teams strike jurors as they go from their court case. So they get a jury down to what they needed. And it's not like there were no people of color, right, on the jury. There were other races on the jury besides white. There were just no black people. But because of that, they're using that as a scapegoat to say, oh, well, it's racist because there are no black people. As if, for some reason, a black person being on the jury would automatically side with Carmelo Anthony. Would have this same sort of mindset that it's us against them and my team over everybody else, no matter what they do. It's stupid. The OJ trial already exposed that. Yeah, I mean, this obviously has been going on for a long time. OJ is wild too, because OJ, I can't remember what comedian it was, but a comedian once said somebody needs to tell OJ how to fucking lay low, because OJ, first off, OJ Simpson strikes me as a dude who was a legitimate, like, sociopath. Like, he understood emotions and understood how to maybe even seem like he expressed them, but he never felt them. And he was incredibly selfish, self-centered, and, like, had no empathy for people. And he was truly a sociopath. And because only a sociopath would do some of the things that he did. Like, this is a guy who slew, I guess you could say, his ex-wife and her lover. And then years later, after he serves a prison sentence for that, or didn't serve a prison sentence for that, he ends up not only does he write a book saying that, like, I didn't do it, but if I had done it, it definitely would have been done like this. Not only does he do that, he also tries to steal his own memorabilia. He commits more crimes. Because then, as he commits more crimes, and when he commits those crimes, you know he's going to get the max sentence as repaying for what he did to his ex-wife. Like, I don't know, man. But this
I'm a
is
black
wild.
mother. Let me put that on there. I'm an African American mother, so I have to put away my color first and step into the motherhood. Nobody wants to see their child slain, so I do want to send prayers to Austin Metcalf, their family. But at the end of the day, I got to think like, okay, what did you do to him, or whatever, to cause this to happen? The reaction. We got to start taking.
So this is called victim blaming. This is literally, hey, she was asking for it. You see how short her skirt was? But it's literally, oh, what did he say and do to deserve, like, being stabbed? What are we doing? What are we doing to be like, well, what did he do that could have brought on this behavior? As if he deserved it. It's fucking dumb, man. Like, anyway, that was that. And there was a lot of wild videos that came out about this. Yeah, there's.
Ask you a question you don't.
Shut up and where's Jay, bitch? I'm tired of playing with you. I want the big dog.
She wants the big dog. This is Nick Sortor.
The fuck, he's already a bitch. Let that nigga be a bitch by himself. Fuck him.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah. So, oh, this is one that went viral. This is.
What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do at this point? What? I'm lost for it. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more. You can't walk away no more.
Rest in peace,
No
Trayvon
mo.
Martin. Let me ask you this right now.
Why are we talking about Trayvon Martin?
What do you want us to do?
Motherfucker. But yeah, what they say it as if they're like being preyed upon. This is not what's happening. The man committed a crime. I say man because he was tried as an adult, because he was an adult. He committed a crime, and now he was found guilty of that crime. He's being punished. It's a crime. I don't understand, like, how are we not getting this? Because yeah, it's ridiculous. I did see a funny version of that though. That was let's see. It's actually probably on let's see here. Really? Going back that far, huh? Okay, doesn't show. So, but there was a sorry, I didn't want to go full quartering here. I thought D-Day Cobra had posted it, but it was or maybe it's in the community. Maybe it was posted here. So no. Anyway, it was a it was that woman saying, I can't what are we supposed to do? We can't run no more. It was her saying that, but like they had put down in the ticker or the news announcement, like Nintendo raises Switch 2 prices again or something like that. And they're like, this is how gamers feel in the post, because it was actually pretty funny. It was pretty good. Anyway, that was that's pretty much, all I had to talk about, really, or planned to talk about. We're gonna go through the doom scroll now. And if you're not aware what the doom scroll is, I literally just raw dog Twitter. I open Twitter and we just scroll it and react to some of the stuff that we see. And I already see something that is pretty wild. So let's take a look here. So here we go. EA Star Wars. Yep, there's a Star Wars game out from EA if you didn't know. Command an elite squad through authentic story and Star Wars Zero Company. In Star Wars Zero Company, a single-player turn-based tactics game set in the twilight of the Clone Wars. I've seen this. It's sort of a top-down tactics game, that kind of. It looks like it would be okay, and you could definitely have it as a game that exists and might even be successful if Star Wars is at its peak. And Star Wars is definitely not at its peak right now. And this thing is going to do tens of sales, guys. Speaking of Raw Dog, I hope you erase those cookies or we will see something. Listen. I always clear the search, all right? I always clear. Listen, when I'm looking up big booty trans OnlyFans girls, it's not on main, okay? I got the private browsing up, all right? I got the private browsing up. Let's be honest. I actually have it on my phone, okay? Because, I'm a grown fucking adult who wanks using his phone. Not a laptop or a PC. Like, who the fuck does that? I'm not a fucking animal. Get your phone, go into the shower like a grown-up, and do it there. An XCOM Star Wars game, 10, 20 years would be perfect. Now, nope. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this could have slapped years ago. This could have, dude, right after the prequel era, like between the prequel and sequel era, you release something like this, which, I'm going to be honest, would have been a great time to release it and would have actually probably been something new and different in that whole sort of era of gaming and genre. And for Star Wars, really could have flew. It really could have worked. Unfortunately, now nobody gives a shit. Well, this is all because the Odyssey popcorn bucket, its popcorn is in its belly or penile region, I guess you could say. So, Representative Jasmine Crockett says the knife used to kill Metcalf was not a deadly weapon. Listen. When I was in New York City, I think I was like 14, 13, somewhere between 13, 15. I was with my mom and my grandma, and we were going to Ellis Island because my grandmother wanted to see my great-grandfather's name written on the wall in Ellis Island, all of that. We were boarding the ferry to go to Ellis Island, and my grandmother had a pocket knife that she had for a very long time. It was a Swiss Army knife, by the way, with a blade that was about yay long, right? Hold this up again. About yay long, and maybe about yay wide, right? Blunt as all fuck, basically a nail file. But they confiscated it and told her that she could either have it back and go back to the end of the line, or she could give it to somebody to hold on to it for her, or they'd have to confiscate it. The line took about an hour and a half to get through, to get onto a ferry. So we're not going to do that shit again. This was like July, by the way. And they took that knife. So they ended up confiscating the knife. Little Swiss Army knife my grandmother had for, I don't know, decade plus. For a blade that small. If that's considered dangerous enough for the police in New York to confiscate, because my little 60-year-old grandmother might take the boat hostage with her little Swiss Army knife, maybe whatever knife this kid Karmelo Anthony probably was carrying, probably a lot more dangerous than that and worthy of response. What the fuck? I don't even know. Karmelo Anthony BLM protests is heating up outside Frisco courthouse. Random supporters are approaching white people like myself and screaming at us. Yeah, that's to be expected. Expected behavior. Both of them should have been, yep. A Karmelo Anthony supporter outside the courthouse. Yep. Acting emotional. What a surprise. Oh my God. You can't show that. What are you fucking doing, Valiant? Convicted, you know what, shouldn't get life in, or shouldn't get life in prison. Just right, Carmelo Anthony now faces life. Kirsten's posted that. I mean, I personally think that life in prison is a worse punishment than execution, because someone throw them a Snickers or something, calm them down. It's more like purple drank. They need some purple drink and some fried chicken, okay? Not because they're black, but because purple drank and fried chicken is really delicious. Have you ever had it? I've had it. It's part of the reason I'm fat. This was a body that was built on fried chicken, okay? Okay? And I'm a quarter Asian, all right? I'm white and Asian. I love fried chicken and I love fruity drinks, okay? That's what they need. Get that shit out there to them. Wait. Throw them that new sugar pineapple trend. Yeah. Bro, honestly, fruity pineapple cocktail right now sounds pretty good. I might go have myself a Cayman Jacks after this. If you haven't had a Cayman Jacks before, they're very, very good for a canned bottled margarita. Very tasty. And they're about the same alcohol as like a beer. Pretty good. I don't think as much bloat either. I can't drink beer anymore. Like, there's several reasons why I can't drink beer anymore, but one of the reasons is that it just makes me feel like shit. Like, I don't know what it is. Honestly, that's pretty much the whole reason why I don't drink beer anymore, is because beer, it makes me, not only does it give me the beer bloat, so you feel weighted and you just feel down and like fat, feel like shit, but also, I don't know why, I get the worst fucking hangovers when I drink beer. I get the worst fucking hangovers. And I'm literally talking like one or especially two beers. I know I'm getting an awful headache tomorrow. Like, I know it. I don't like, and the thing is, I like beer. I like the taste of beer. Dude, a nice cold beer and a slice of pizza, that shit is fucking money. But I can't drink it anymore because it gives me horrible headaches. And it makes me feel bloated and shitty. My wife thinks it's because I have, quote unquote, the Asian flush, which is a medical term they've given out. It's funny how they still use these like colloquial, like funny racial terms for actual medical conditions that they haven't thought of anything else up yet of. But it's basically like a condition where Asians, funny enough, our background, we didn't grow a whole lot of wheat in our societies, okay? We make a whole lot of bread. It wasn't really a thing. Rice was more of our grain of choice. So our bodies are not used to breaking down. Genetically, our bodies are not used to breaking down composed fermented wheat and drinks of such. Therefore, like, we don't process beer well or in the same way or whatever, which causes Asians to like get very like, well, kind of how I was saying, like, get a really bad headache, we turn a little bit red, feel like shit, and it's weird. I don't know, but that's what she says. I think she thinks I have. So she's the nurse. So throw some watermelon too, just in case. I want to drink the beer. But I also know I could also drink the whiskey or the rum and not feel like shit. I'm like the opposite of Fear the Beardo, where he only drinks beer. I only really drink like dark liquors. Sometimes light liquors. Mostly dark liquors. Bro, watermelon juice. I've honestly been on a kick recently where I've been eating a fuck ton of watermelon. It's so good, dude. It's so good. Especially when you get a really ripe one. Oh, dude. There's very few things that taste as good as perfectly ripe, cold watermelon. It's so good. There are very few things that taste better than that. It's like cold watermelon, ice cold Mountain Dew, and like pussy. I think that's about it. Well, what about like whiskey neat? No, shit fucking tastes awful. What are you talking about? The complex, rich flavors. No, it doesn't. Have you ever drank Scotch neat? It tastes like you're giving a oak tree a blowjob. But yeah, or coffee. Oh, black coffee. Drink coffee black. No, that shit fucking tastes fucking terrible. What are you talking about? I'm not drinking my coffee black. Put some cream and sugar in that shit. Make it taste good. Anyway, that's where I stand on that. But we're not gonna get bogged down by all of that. We're gonna move right along here. Okay, what is she went ahead to say? Sure, Jesus, it's getting hard to like the removal of one's head in the streets stuff is bad, but you know what's worse? Being called racist online. So be quiet. Yeah, Shuanhead is referring to the Belfast riots. There are riots happening across the UK right now because in Belfast, a man was attacked, shall we say, where he had an attempted Highlandering from a quite clearly non-native to Ireland person, Northern Ireland person. So yeah, it's bad. It's bad. And there's riots going on all over the place. So like fucking Conor McGregor is posting the video of it, basically saying, because there's actual really gruesome fucking video, and with like the tagline immigrants welcome here, or migrants welcome here, basically making fun of all those people because Conor McGregor is very conservative and anti-immigration in Ireland. So Austin Metcalf's twin brother stood motionless, staring into the camera during the entire press conference tonight. I vote we give him 5 minutes alone in the silver. Bro, what? Do you know how wild it must be for this dude, Carmelo Anthony, to potentially have to be there on trial for unaliving a dude, and there's a dude who looks exactly like that motherfucker sitting right there? How fucking trippy and fucked up that must be. Like, I don't know. Why the fuck is Xbox One... Hold on. Detour time. What it looks like when it's not washed and made to look the way that pic looks. Gears looks like an Xbox One game. You are dumb. We Xbox One for... I'm not 100% sure why Xbox One is trending. My brain is hurting because people are trying to tell me that the Kinect didn't massively hurt the Xbox One. Okay, I don't know why Xbox One is trending. But whatever. Red Alert had Gina Carano and Ric Flair. Bro, Gina Carano is like, that's a good one. It's a good one. Asha Sharma wanted to cancel Halo Campaign Evolved and Fable PC5 or PS5 ports. But back then, Phil Spencer made a contract with Sony that Halo Campaign Evolved and Fable comes to PlayStation Day 1. But also Sharma wanted to cancel the contract, but the breakup fee was so expensive for Microsoft to pay. And yes, Asha Sharma heard us. I don't even know if I don't know. This is just some dude saying this. So we got more violence. Asmongold speaks on Reckless Ben's final message after being silenced by the courts. This is the kind of stuff that makes people hate the police. It makes people hate the court system. And it makes people hate the law. They're right to hate all these systems. Yeah, I understand this. If you're not caught up with the bricks and minifigs or whatever the fuck like situation, it's all has to do with like stolen Legos, and there are people that are way more into it that are covering it. You're more than welcome to take a look at them. I know Meme Copium did a deep dive into all this on his stream and all that, so you can definitely check out those streams with him. But I do know that this guy here, Reckless Ben, who's been doing the YouTube videos about the whole situation, he has a part 3 that was set to release. He basically came out in a statement recently and said he cannot release part 3 because if he does, the GoFundMe that was founded for these people they were trying to help, that will get nuked. He will go to jail. He will instantly lose his lawsuit. Like, it's a non-starter to release the content about these people. So then again, if it looks like they're losing the lawsuit, he's gonna be fucked anyways. Probably can best believe that video is gonna be like put out. Controversial valedictorian's graduation speech sparks controversy. Wait, hold on. Hold. Read this sentence again. Controversial valedictorian's graduation speech sparks controversy as heckler is cut off. Controversial sparks. We know that it's going to spark controversy because you call them controversial to start. That's the whole point. I don't know. What are we doing here? Like, proofread and edit your headlines. Dude, the headline game, this is a very niche thing to complain about, but the headline game is out of fucking control. It's either massive run-on headlines that go on for way too long and could be condensed down to short snippets, or it's shit like this that is wordy and doesn't make any sense. Using the same word twice to convey the same message. Nancy Mace or Riley Gaines, conservative women who placed 5th. Thoughts and Sarah McBride. This is the Sarah McBride. This is the representative that thinks he's a woman. Fuck type of time they on. So see. Yeah, Knicks lost their game 3 against the Spurs. I don't know if there was another game on tonight. I don't know. I haven't cared about basketball in probably about 5 years, 5-6 years. Like at all. Dear at Jonas Hacker, you were awesome as Fisto. Thank you for bringing such a cool, badass character to life the way you did. Yeah. Dude, Masters of the Universe is such a good, fun time. You should go see it. You need to go see it. It's worthy of your time. Obsession star Indy Neverett used to make streaming. Yeah, we know that. I heard that Obsession is nearing like an expected $330 million like mark in theaters. And it's like, it's going to be poised to be like one of the highest, if not the highest grossing horror film of all time. And it's set to break records. It's breaking record. It's made like 400 times its budget back. Like, this is just amazing what this thing is doing. Like, it's insane. If you could spend the summer in any TV show universe, where would you go? Michael Shanks. Oh my God, are you kidding? Yeah, Amazon canceled the Stargate series. I just went full quartering there for a second. I was doing. It's getting later. You can tell I'm getting tired. Can you please post your Stellar Blade trophy achievement list? I'm trying to see something. Heartbreaking. The worst person you just. Yeah. Because this guy is a complete fuck, by the way. Like, he's a horrible leftist human being. Like, absolutely the worst. And Kata is right. The worst person just made a great point. Because Yorch did not play Stellar Blade. Yorch doesn't really play video games. So, there's that. Are you sure? Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 4, from the little bit that I saw of it, looked okay. It looks dated. It's really weird how, like, Nintendo games, modern Nintendo games on the Switch 2, already look dated coming out compared to everything else. Like, their graphics now are so modern compared to what they used to be, like, 10 years ago. But they're also, like, still incredibly far behind. They refuse to catch up. Homes were set ablaze in Belfast, Northern Ireland, as protests intensified following an attempted, yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny because this is one of the few riots I understand and actually see why they did. And yeah, I don't know. I'll take it if she doesn't want it. Brad Pitt's daughter Zahara makes move to legally axe his last name. So, yeah, his daughter, right? This is an adopted daughter of Angelina Jolie that Brad Pitt helped raise, even though, like, he had nothing to do with, like, bringing her into the family, I don't think. Yeah. Conor McGregor demands immediate and total third world immigration ban. Damn. Give me a release date, God of War Laufey. Here's the thing. God of War Laufey, and I think we'll end on this because we're past the 2-hour mark now. God of War Laufey is going to sell a ton to the same set of PlayStation fanboys that have been buying for years. Again, I think I started out with this. Software does not sell consoles. Hardware sells consoles. Specs sells consoles. Marketing sells consoles. But exclusives do not sell consoles. Especially exclusives that are the God of War that are not actually about the God of War. They're about the God of War's second dead wife and her cute, cuddly animal companion and her other two companions, which are a talking sword that I'm sure will not get annoying over time, and a cube that's named Frank. Because LOL, it's so cute, isn't it? His name is Frank. It doesn't go with anything in the universe. It's weird. He's a Jello cube. It's fucking stupid. Anyway, we're gonna end there. So, this has been a very average show, I think. Very average show. But I appreciate you guys sticking around. Thank you to all the lurkers, Jack of all casuals in the chat, everybody who came in, took a look at the stream, anybody who's catching on VOD. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit the hype button because that always helps with the algorithm bullshit. More videos and shorts and everything coming in the future. We will be live with a gaming stream on Thursday. It's our Thirsty Thursday gaming stream. We'll be doing more James Bond 007 First Light. Might even do some streaming tomorrow of it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. But I want to play more of it. Anyway, until then, we will see you again next time. And yeah, later.